intro.
Are we in it right here?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Flank. We are doing it live from Major 1 Raleigh. I'm joined by Chris Parasite. We got Benji and Asim, and we also got Patrick Price Aches on the headset. What's going on, Pat? You there? Hello?
Yeah, listen, Tom. I got my invisible camo on. I'm on the
you
couch.
good,
They
Pat?
just
You
can't see
good,
me
bro?
right now. They can't see me,
It's
but I'm
fine.
here.
Pat will be joining us on Friday.
Yeah, he'll be here during the weekend,
Yeah,
chat. He'll
tomorrow.
be here. He just had some work he had to take care of. He
Working
lives
on
in the
X
area.
Defiant.
Yes, sir. How's it going with work, Pat? How's X Defiant going?
It's going great, Tom. One of our factions has camo, as you can see. I popped it here live on the flank. But yeah, it's going great. It's going great.
Yeah, it's going great, man. We had a long day of COD today, man. A long fucking day. We obviously had 4 pools. It's pool play matches, right? We had challenger teams who got dropped into every pool as well, and the challenger teams came out to play, man. I mean, they were no fucking joke today.
Yeah.
And we'll obviously go through the pools and talk about it a little bit. But let's just get it going, man. I want to kind of get into some of these teams and talk about the matches. Let's start with first group. Let's start with Group A. NYSL come out and smoke Minnesota Rocker. 3-0. New York Subliners are already qualified for tomorrow. I think they won 2 series today,
Yeah.
right? So New York
Yeah, they
Subliners
did
always...
map.
Yeah, they're already moving through. They look good today, man. One word I got to say. I got to gas this guy, bro.
Yeah.
Parista, man. Parista
He
today
dog.
So good.
put on an absolute show. I mean, Pat, I don't know how much you were able to tune in today, but did you see P-Dog today? I mean, these guys was phenomenal. He's great.
Hey, I've been waiting for it, Tom. I've been calling for
You
it. I've been
have been calling
asking
for
for
it.
it. And
This
yeah,
is
he
him.
delivered. He delivered.
Yes,
he was
sir.
him today.
He was him. Yes, sir. Chris, Ben, what did you guys think from the New York Subliners today? They were
P-Dog
great.
definitely deserves his flowers. I thought when we had Caesar on our watch party, I felt like all 4 of them are playing really, really good right now. You know, we know that they really struggled the first week of the CDL. And since then, I think they've started to play a little more free. Caesar was talking about when he was on our watch party that they felt like they were playing scared, like they weren't challenging. They weren't playing their game. And so since then, I feel like they're playing to their potential, which is, if you think about it, Kid is not a slow player. Preston not a slow player. Hydra not a slow player. They have almost like this Thieves face thing where they're just in your face constantly, generating engagements and pressure, and it's just really hard to play against when they're in their system. So
Let's also not forget though, Ben. Let's also not forget huge catalyst. They literally shot bots round 1. Insane confidence booster for them. They
Yep,
got the best matchup I think they
you
could have asked
think that
for
plays a
round
big
1.
factor?
Bots.
Massive. They literally showed up first series, shot some recruit bots, and just they just were full steam ahead
My
after
God,
that.
He's cooking.
They just got
roster.
the
Cooking 'em.
confidence
No, he's cooking.
rolling.
Are you cooking Rocker? Or are you cooking LAG? Because they played.
Oh wait, actually they did play LAG.
No, he's cooking.
No,
He's
I meant-
cooking Rocker. Right, he's cooking
no,
LAG right
no,
now.
he's cooking LAG. Yeah.
I
forgot they
mean,
played
bro.
first.
Yes,
Yeah, because
sir.
LAG got smoked today. I mean, NYSL looked great. I mean, 2 3-0s today. I mean, they're going on to brackets
Bro,
with ease. They look good.
I
Pat, go
pulled
ahead.
up the LAG stats. I saw 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. I was just like, damn.
They do have a problem with slaying power. I mean, I feel like they just have to focus on their kills a little bit, man. They're all over
I
the
don't
place
think it's a
at times.
slaying power problem. I think that they need to play together more. I think this game is like very punishing on solo chalice unless you really, really do a good job. Camera people now, we were seeing subs go off today. But bro, I think just overall their team was really sloppy. They got smoked on a couple of hard points today. I know they ended up beating your team, Chris, in their second match. LAG is still alive, but they're in that danger zone, Tom. You just don't know tomorrow when they face off. I believe they play Minnesota Rocker to get out. I don't really have Thieves. I don't have the LAG boys favored in that match. So.
Well, that's going to be an elimination game tomorrow. The lights come on here, so sorry if it's a little bright, but the lights are coming on. They're going to be doing some cleanup here in the venue.
We are bright.
We could probably turn these lights off, or Ben, you maybe if you want to try and turn them off, but if
yeah,
not,
it might
I
be a
don't
good
really.
idea because we are bright.
Yo, we look so
I look like a
great.
ghost.
All right.
Um,
I'll try and expose on the camera. Keep talking.
Chris
Keep talking.
is blending into the couch.
But we, yo, we
I'm
do got
pale.
a elimination match tomorrow with LAG and Rocker. I mean, Pat, how do you think that's gonna go? That's gonna be a good match. You think LAG can
and
knock out Rocker?
Rocker's gonna
Yeah,
smoke him.
I think it'll be a great match, Tom. I think I think it'll be a great match for people who don't have a lot of time and they wanna watch a full game real quick. I think it'll be a quick 25-minute series, and it'll be a great game for
Damn.
those who are in a hurry that are watching the broadcast.
Chris, would you agree with Patrick Price there?
Yeah, nah.
Looks
I mean,
better. Looks better.
just because obviously this was the pool that my challenger team dropped into. We didn't play good at all this today, but we did have much more competitive maps versus LAG. I don't know if that was obviously because we had more time to warm up in between the series. Because there was actually server issues this morning, but overall, I mean, they made up for it. But regardless, I think the better team is just Rocker. Like, period. I mean, from online to LAN, they're just a better team. I'm still not hot on LAG, obviously.
Chris, is your team? Do you fall back into the challengers bracket?
Yeah, we start at top 32. So my challenger team plays on Saturday. They don't play tomorrow.
So this is actually a crazy thing. I was just talking to Enable about it. Is like the AM teams are actually in a way better spot in this format than the pro teams. Like they have a second life. The pro teams are kind of just they're done and dusted.
It's the third pro team. The pro team that doesn't make it, into bracket play gets screwed. Whereas, Chris's team's gonna be able to play the weekend. Like,
yeah, but I mean, the only reason they did it, at least this is just for the challengers, right? Just so you guys can understand, is because there's no unless they were to give the amateur teams guaranteed pro points, then they would fall behind in points because like going to the pro am and being in the major would give them none. So they would fall behind in terms of seeding for the rest of the year. So they had to make it so they're either gifted a X amount of pro points.
That makes sense.
Which would have to be equal to like winning the tournament because obviously they don't have the potential to do so.
Right.
Or they're seeded back in the tournament so they can earn those points for the rest of the season. So that's literally the only reason why they're being seeded back.
That makes more sense. It seems like they have to do it, or else it's just
the
unfair.
weird thing is though, if let's say like Elevate or LAG, I think we'll talk about those guys soon, but they're in a good position where I think one of them at least will probably make the actual major bracket.
Yeah.
This is challenger stuff, but do they get points? Like they have to get
I'm
points.
sure they get points.
They'll have
I mean,
to get points
they
because
have to.
Once they're in the bracket, they don't go back to challengers at all. Like they are in major one bracket and
They
are
get
stuck.
points. They have to
You
get
talking
points.
about
to get
LAG
to the bracket.
Academy?
Like
Yeah,
LAG
like say
Academy or
a
Elevate.
challengers team makes it to the bracket, Pat. Do they get points for that? They have to.
Yeah, they'll have to. They'll
yeah,
have to get
I think
something
they would
equal
have
to
to.
one. They have
But
to
I-
get
but I
s-
think-
they have- sorry.
But I think the real problem here is if the LAG Academy team makes it to the bracket, LAG just needs to put their pro team in challengers and their academy team in the pro league.
Yeah,
we
their
were talking
academy
about
team
on
look
stream
good.
because it's like, what do? You paid all that money, ideally to get out.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
you just say, hey, I've made horrible management decisions. I need a team who can shoot, and you take the team who can shoot.
But I mean, Ben makes a good point. They invested a lot of money into that team, bro.
And they have to recontract everybody. They're in an interesting spot. I think let's see what happens through the weekend. But
Yeah, they have another day tomorrow.
Ben,
They-
I think the funny thing about this though is
Yeah.
we've always talked about how like there's been academy teams in past CODs where like wow their academy team is better than their pro team. We've always talked about and memed about it, but like we're almost getting tangible proof here, and that puts them in a very interesting spot. And especially when like you could always argue a harder pool or whatever, but no, I think right now LAG Academy hardest pool. They have Faze, and Seattle, which granted they might not have looked the best online. We already know the potential of Seattle as a team and the talent that they have.
Yeah.
And last year they won a major. So like they're playing against some of the hardest and best players that our league has to offer, and they look damn competitive.
Yep. No, I agree. Group A is getting pretty mixy tomorrow. We will have an elimination. We got LAG going up against Minnesota, so we'll see what happens there. You guys are what, 0-1?
No, we're
0-2?
gone.
You guys
We're
are done.
We're back
you
in
guys
amateurs.
You guys
yeah.
are
But
eliminated.
like I said, we played terrible Call of Duty,
yeah.
but I'm sure my guys are going to use it to learn from it, and that's all.
That's all that matters, bro. You can't get better practice than this, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and NYSL, they moved through in Group A. So any final thoughts of Group A? Ben, you want any final thoughts on some of these teams? Or
I mean, let's see. It feels like Rocker should be favored to get out of this group. I thought they would get first seed, but New York got first seed. Yeah, curious to see what New York does in the bracket. Curious to see if Minnesota close it out. And this is a real danger point for LAG. So we'll see what
Also,
happens
I
tomorrow.
want to show some love just because I didn't really talk too much about the subliners. I just want to show some love to the team. I mean, dude, they all played really good.
Yeah, they do.
And I think a big catalyst of them playing well in general was the fact that the M4 got GA'd. I mean, we've talked about it a little bit on the show, but they have arguably, some people might not think so, but they have some of the best SMGs like in the league right now in terms of a duo. Hydra, is going to pop off.
Yep.
And then Kismet, what Kismet brings to the team. He brings that aggression. He brings that grittiness, right? That's I think one word that describes Kismet as a player is he's very gritty. He gets in the mix. It doesn't matter if he's in hell, in war, in the game. Like he always finds a
He's
way
unselfish
to be
too,
impactful.
you know what I'm saying?
And I think that too as a combo, if they gel and like they have been,
Yeah.
that's a hard duo to deal with in terms of the aggression they can output.
Yeah, and he's
So,
super unselfish. He plays really well off of Hydra. Like their play styles work really well together. So
Yeah.
that's a good link up, man. We'll be tuning into that duo as the weekend goes on. Let's get into Group B. We got Toronto Ultra. We got Polo Drum, which is the Spanish team from Challengers. And then we got OpTic and Florida. So this group actually got fucking crazy.
Where do you want to start with this group?
I don't even know where to start. Let's start with Toronto and Polo Drum. Toronto went down 0-2 to Polar Drum. So everybody was like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on? Scrappy tweeted yesterday, whatever team comes out of Challengers.
Absolute might have been the coldest take of all time if they actually lost.
Yeah, I mean, Scrappy came after the fact. And what's going on? Asim, you hopping on? What's up, bro? Put the headset on. What's up, bro?
Yeah, to finish Tom's thought, the Toronto Ultra Boys did end up closing that series out. And then, Tom, we had OpTic, Florida. We've talked a lot about how in this matchup it gets kind of mixy, day patty and all of that. And it went to a round 11 in Surge.
Different team.
Yeah, but I mean, this one was also a banger too, and it went to round 11 and OpTic closed it out.
Banger. I mean, I didn't want to move on that quickly from the Toronto Polo
Or go
Drum.
back to Toronto. Then.
I just thought Polo Drum put on a show today.
Yeah,
Like they look good,
did.
bro.
They
They did not look bad by any means.
Listen,
like,
bro, I'm gonna give a shout out. I've always been a big proponent of Challengers. I played Challengers for two years of 3 years realistically of playing in the lower the semi-pro scene. And dude, I've met so many talented people. I met whenever I played in BO4, I met Exceed, I met Sib, I met Mac, and like, dude, you saw where those guys were. Exceed's killing it right now. Then like the next couple years, I'm meeting even more of these players, and people always like. A lot of people write off Challengers. A lot of people are like, "Oh, dude, it's not that crazy. Like they don't have the support down there and stuff like that." But like, I think this event, if anything, it shows you how important it is for us to invest in
Agreed.
Challengers.
Yeah.
The last Pro-Am I don't think was very accurate because it was later in the year, and by then the pro teams have enough time, right? They're playing constant majors and tournaments, and they're also playing against pro teams every day, while the amateurs they don't get as much practice support down there. But now, like at the beginning of the year, this is the fairest, most even playing field the amateurs have had compared to the pro scene, and you're seeing almost every single AM team was going map 5 with pro
three
teams.
or four went to game 5, and one
Yeah.
did end up actually getting that W.
And 2 of them won their matches, and one of them almost beat Faze, which a lot of us have always considered one of the best, if not the best team in the game. Like, this is exactly why Challengers needs more support, period.
yeah, or expansion, right? People were talking about expansion in the chat. Just goes to show how much talent's down there, you know, and how many people deserve to probably be up here in the league. But listen, before we move on from groups, Asim, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing
Obviously,
pretty good,
better
man.
days, man. You
Yeah,
know,
man.
better days. What happened today?
I don't know. I just feel like we've lost our 5th series in a row, so we're kind of in a downward spiral.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm just really gutted, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
surprised you're here. Well, first and foremost, thank you for being here after a loss. I mean, I'm sure that's not easy. I didn't
Yeah.
expect you to come on.
Yeah, no, I told you. I'm a man of my word. I told you I would come, so I showed up.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that. Let's get some Wasims in the chat. It's never easy to lose at an event, bro. I've
I
been
know.
there. You've been there.
I
You
feel
know,
like shit right now, where my
yeah,
team's still playing technically.
yeah,
I
I
see a lot of people in the chat that can read my face. Like, this is the type of shit that we go through as pro players. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, bro,
100%.
you've been through for 10 years. Haggy's gone up for 10
Yeah.
years. Like, when you lose, it feels like the whole world is crashing above you.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to come out and show love to you and show
Yeah, I
love to everyone.
appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, my
But yeah.
guy. You hang in there, bro. You
Yeah,
fucking
man.
hang in there.
You'll
You
be
were,
all right, bro.
hey, bro.
You were
You look
killing it
good.
when you
Like
played.
not,
No,
not
thank
even,
you.
not even you
No.
individually. You look good out there.
I
You know, you
appreciate
were
that.
doing your thing. But you know, it's part of the game, bro. You
Part of the
win
game.
some, you lose
Yeah.
some. And the only thing you can do is like go back to the drawing board and get back to business
Mhm.
and get ready to fight for the next one because
Mhm.
anything can happen at the next one. But it's hard because you put all these hours every day. You guys scrim for hours and hours and hours. You watch VOD and you do all this shit. And when you get here, you know, if you get eliminated early, you know, you like you said, you feel like it
Yeah.
all crashes down
Yeah.
on you.
Feels like
you
all
know?
your work was for nothing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like since November 2nd, I feel like I've given it my absolute all every single day, and I'm happy I can say that.
Yeah.
But to lose on the first day, it's like what Haggy just said. Like, it
Bro,
feels like it's
Asim-
nothing.
Asim was here at like 10 a.m. shooting bots.
I was
I
the first
literally-
guy in the
I
in the
Yeah,
literally-
you
venue.
always are. I
My
mean,
team
you're
was
first
here
time
grinding.
early. My team was here early because we had to do headshots. And I was like, oh, let me see if any pro teams are here. Anyone's looking for a scrim. I literally go to the back. I see Asim hoodie on, just like
Just
Scrimming
fine.
already.
He was playing pubs.
I was playing pubs, and Haggy scared me. He came behind me. He was like, "Boo!" I was like, "Dude, who the hell was that?" And Haggy's like, "Yo, what's going on, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, you know what I mean." Just Playing pubs.
Well, hey,
it.
bro. I mean, I'm sorry you guys got eliminated, but now
Yeah.
it is what it is. At this point, you just fucking go back to the drawing board and try and figure it out. How's the team holding up? I'm sure everybody's probably upset.
Yeah, we're all pretty down bad.
Down
but
bad?
we had a good meeting afterwards. Talked about what we need to work on. Talked about how to make us a more efficient team. Because like I said before, we have lost 5 series in a row, so we have to figure it out. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't know if a lot of people know, but there's still like that 2 to 3 week break until stage 2. So we definitely have a lot of things to work on over the Christmas break. But yeah, that's really all I was gonna
Well,
say.
Asim, I appreciate you coming on. We're going to get to your group. You guys are Group D, so that's the last group. We'll get
Yeah.
to that eventually. But let's go back to Group B because we were talking about Polo Drum a little bit, talking about Toronto. Ultra looked good. I mean, the first 2 maps looked a little rough. I don't know if they just came out against Polo Drum just a little flat. Maybe they just weren't into it.
Listen, this
First
goes,
series, you were
this
talking
goes,
about
this
this.
goes back to Chris's thing. I thought a good factor in these first series was, one, to your point, Chris, the even playing field, but also, two, like, the Challengers teams were here yesterday.
Yeah.
They played a lot of
No doubt.
series. They, like, that first couple of maps, they already have a feel for the pace, the environment, the setup, and the pro team's got to kind of, like, ease their way in. So I'm not surprised those first couple of series went to Game 5. And, yeah, I mean, the Toronto guys look good. Obviously, they took care of business in the reverse sweep, and then were they clinical against OpTic. Surprised Scrap didn't talk more smack after that series, but yeah, Toronto looks good, man. This team's a legit contender, bro.
No, they are. They have a
Yeah.
lot of talent, and their teamwork is good. They work really well
Dude,
together.
Scrap learned Spanish out of nowhere because as soon as they started to come up,
he
he
came
literally
on,
started
he
talking
Bro,
came
Spanish.
on.
It was so
Listen,
funny,
moron,
bro.
You didn't learn Spanish. We had him on here. He literally went into Google Translate and then just memorized.
Bro, he literally
Oh, he
stood
did the
up.
Kobe. Kobe's
he
done that
Google
before.
translated some
Yeah.
shit talk and then started fucking
Bro,
saying
nah, he
stupid
rolled
shit.
his R, bro. He knew what he was doing.
'Cause
I
he's
was just sitting in the
practicing
back. He's like, you're a mierda or something
Yeah,
like that. And I was
mierda.
like,
No way.
Called him
he said
shit.
he called him shit.
Hey, what are you
It
gonna
was so
do?
funny, bro. I had
Scrappy
to
letting
laugh.
him know, man. Scrappy, Scrappy. He's not afraid. He's super entertaining to watch all weekend long. We're gonna be tuning into Scrappy and his gameplay because he's been on point for sure. And then after that, let's talk about OpTic a little bit. OpTic and the Florida Mutineers. I mean, bro, what a series. What a fucking series. This one went all the way down to the wire, round 11. And OpTic able to clutch it up in the last second. I mean, did you guys expect it from Florida Mutineers? Did you expect it to be so
I
close?
didn't expect it, but I knew the potential was there.
Yeah, me too. And Pat, I know you're here. I want to ask you this, Pat. Colt Havoc. You've been waiting to see something from this guy. He was unreal today, Pat. Unreal. What did you think of from Colt's
Who
performance?
did they beat today?
Did Florida beat Polo Drum? So
Yeah.
Polo Drum's
Yeah.
out because they went
Okay.
0-2. They lost to Toronto, got reverse swept. Tomorrow, OpTic plays Florida again. Winner
make it?
moves through. So, we're gonna get there. That's gonna be fucking
Let's
crazy.
go to Pat real quick.
But let's go to Pat. Pat, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Havoc played well, but the problem that I saw was my man Vikul.
What, the
we
Suey
were-
himself? You think Vikul had a? It was his first event on a big stage. To be fair, it's his first time on a big stage.
Yeah. But this is also Scrappy's first, on a big stage. Like we're seeing 1.5s out of Scrap.
We've already established that Scrappy is not a human being, bro.
Yeah, that
Like,
guy's
that guy's
different.
That guy's
very
different, bro.
different.
Yeah.
That guy's a very different person than like anyone. So, I mean, I wouldn't compare the two, but yeah, I think Vikul had a rough series. I'm still pretty high on the guy. I think he's a good player. He's a
Me
good.
too.
He's a good. If you guys don't like really know him, he's a really good like teammate.
Mhm.
I
So
think-
that's something that he's got going for him.
I think what I saw though is Vikul just needs to slow down. Like he's not matching the pace of everyone else on his team. I think he had like 30 more deaths almost than every single one of his teammates.
Okay. That's probably a problem.
Which is a lot, right? Like it doesn't really matter. Like even if you're getting baited, like 30 more deaths in a series is kind of nuts.
Trying to do a little too much.
Yeah, exactly. So I think for in this rematch tomorrow, I think Havoc's gonna have to overperform the way he did today, and I think Vikul's gonna have to slow it down a lot, and they're just gonna have to play a little bit different of a game.
But the
Yeah.
nice thing is, so the matches start. We'll get to the final schedule later, but the matches start a little bit later tomorrow. So you have overnight and then a couple more hours after that to review the VOD. To your point, kind of break it down with Vikul and figure out how you can slow it down a little bit because that OpTic series is winnable for them. And
Yep.
we saw OpTic today. Obviously, we just talked about the round 11 with Florida, and then they played Toronto, and they looked. I think OpTic looked like a team. And they've talked about it where they haven't had the best of practice the last couple of weeks for the issues with being at the headquarters, and they had to go to the headquarters, the old Envy office's new OpTic headquarters, and then they had players get sick.
Shotzi got sick, yeah.
So I think their practice has been really up and down. They look like a team that has less reps than people. And so, these land matches are super important. And if they can ease in and win that Florida match, I think they'll be coasting. But today they looked a little bit sloppy. They threw a couple of rounds in search. Some of the hard point rotations weren't that clean. Like, I think a lot of it is sort of self-inflicted on their side, and they clean it up. I think they got a good path ahead.
Yeah, online I felt like they weren't rotating at all in the hard points. Today they were a little bit more fundamentally sound,
They were
which is
just,
a
they
good
were
thing.
just blowing.
won
They were
both
just
HPs.
blowing assignments, though. Yeah.
No, they blew it, but I'm
Yeah.
saying they looked better in terms of moving around the map. At least they were rotating the hills and locking up
Yeah.
setups. Where online they were just a breaking team. They were just always breaking everything. So I agree with you. I think as the weekend goes on, I think they'll get better.
Well, there's so we talk about the Toronto series. I mean, we were watching it live. Like that control that they lost to Toronto, like they didn't pick up the pinch.
Yeah.
That's how they ended up losing
And
the
we've
map.
seen how many teams have we seen today? Last guy out
Whoa.
spawn doesn't pick up the pinch,
on the
and
hotel,
it
bro.
costs them, bro. It's bad, bro. I mean, when you're lost out spawn, it's a rule. It's just a rule in God. Pick up the pinch. You have to. If you're the last one up, you have to turn around and watch that shit. And time and time again, we saw teams just not picking it up, and it was costing them. But Toronto Ultra, they 3-0'd OpTic.
Yeah.
They came out and they made a statement, I feel like, against OpTic Texas. And Pat, I kind of want to go to you here because this is your team. This is Toronto Ultra. You love these guys.
Yes, sir. Listen, Tom. I mean, I'm just, I had to pick a team that I was gonna pass my, my tradition on to, Tom. And
Okay.
the Toronto Ultra is definitely that team. They're my 2023 World Champions.
About 2022.
And hey,
It was his 2022
It's a
champions
typo.
as well, and that just didn't
It was
happen.
a
It was a
typo?
typo, apparently.
Like,
Typo.
it was bad. It was bad.
Bro,
It was bad
3
writing.
is
It was
right
bad
next
writing.
to 2 on the keyboard, guys. Like, come on.
That's facts. That is true.
That's
Pat.
true.
But listen, yeah, I mean they're slaying OpTic just I don't want to say about as good as me because it's really hard to hit that. But I mean, hey, they're doing it in a great way. 3-0, dusting them out. I think Scrappy went like 26 and 12 on that
Scrappy had a
last map.
1.56.
And- yeah,
And,
it's
but hey,
really
but catch this. But peep this. Not a single of his kills were traded. 26 kills, 26 non-traded.
Wow.
So
Impressive.
kills.
they couldn't kill him.
They
They couldn't
couldn't
kill
kill
him.
him.
Yeah,
He
they just-
screamed the entire
But, hey,
time.
they couldn't kill
Stanny-
him. They
Stanny was getting
couldn't kill
loud.
me. It's the same thing.
Stanny was getting loud. Stanny was also frying. I mean, it's good to see the two young guns basically slaying, especially for Standy, man. Standy was coming off a rough year on the rocker,
looks
not
good.
only as a team, but a lot of people were saying he doesn't deserve to be on this team. And he's been proving that
That
he's,
guy's been
he's good.
frying.
He's been frying.
Bro, it's so funny that everybody in the Minnesota situation right now is doing decent. Standy on a team just got out of groups. Preston on a team just got out of groups. Dylan, obviously their team is looking good. They have a good chance to get out of groups tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Mike's
it's a solid team.
Mike's team wasn't too bad.
We've
yeah.
we've always
Yeah.
said that about Minnesota Rocket the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that bunch was not the right bunch within one another, but
Yeah.
they all individually really
They're all
good.
good players in
Yeah.
their own right. It's just finding the team that you
Fits
mentioned.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
fits them.
And then obviously we got OpTic, who's gonna be playing Florida again tomorrow. Who do you see coming out on top? I mean, I'm gonna go with OpTic again. I felt like today it got close, but I think OpTic Texas, if they come out and do their thing,
I think
that'll be good. Shotzi, by the way, was incredible for OpTic.
Yeah.
I know he struggled a little bit in the first map, the first map against Toronto he struggled, but he kicked it up as time went on. But he's such a playmaker for them. I mean,
I
everything
think
revolves
I
around
think
him.
sometimes he just needs to slow it down, and just gather.
Yeah,
his
he
bearings,
runs
'cause
at people with the knives
goes- he
sometimes.
goes
He does
rogue,
some
bro.
crazy shit,
Yeah.
But he is fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
He's just one of those players that like if he's on one, like they're gonna win.
Yeah,
You know what
his
I mean?
timings when
He's
his
that-
timings
he's
are
that
on point,
impactful.
and
Yeah.
when he's staying ahead of the game and hitting his routes and playing his positions,
His
he's
game
tough.
is very flow state like.
Yeah.
So
Flow
when he's
state.
when he's on it,
Listen.
like he's playing really well.
If
Go ahead,
if Florida right now is at their team dinner and they're watching the flank, if Vickle can slow down the gameplay tomorrow, Florida is gonna 2-4-5 OpTic and not let the game
2-4 or
slip.
2-3.
2-4. They're gonna 2-4-5 them.
Okay.
Gonna win a
that's
hard
bold.
point.
They're gonna win a hard point. It's gonna be Mercado. Vickle's gonna slow it down, and they're gonna win it. And it's gonna be a 2-4-5. It's gonna be like a 6-4 victory last map on Hotel.
I still think OpTic's got it as much as I love an underdog story. I think OpTic is just obviously going to go back. They're going to watch that match. They're going to clean up their mistakes, and we already know the crowd's behind them. They're going to come back, freshened up, and they're going to beat them. It shouldn't be as close as it was this time, assuming they learned from what they watched today.
We'll see. Florida impressed me today. I mean, Havoc was like just that guy for Florida, bro. He was making absolute plays. So we'll see what kind of Florida we get tomorrow, and then we get on to Group C. This group got really interesting, man. We got Boston Breach, Elevate, Los Angeles Thieves, and Vegas. I think one thing that caught everybody by surprise was Boston Breach getting eliminated today.
Did anyone expect the Boston to be the team that got eliminated today? Those four?
No, I don't.
I mean,
I didn't really expect it.
I didn't expect it, but they haven't been looking as good since. I don't know if it's the M4 or just
The
something
M4, they
happened
haven't
with them,
won.
but they haven't
They
been
haven't
looking
won.
as good since the M4 got GA'd. And I
Pat,
don't
you think the
know
M4
what
is a
that,
big? You think it's a
what
big
it is.
problem? I don't know I don't know if that's really it. It might just be a coincidence.
I mean, it could just be a coincidence. Like it's dude, they're so similar to like my team's downfall right now in Challengers, where we were like looking like a really good team, and then the M4 got GA'd, and like we've been kind of rocky, and we haven't been playing as well. So
Yeah.
like, who knows? Who knows what it could be?
Well,
Wait,
I mean, to be fair to Boston, guys, Big Wake was.
That's what
yeah,
gonna
I
ask.
was gonna
What-
say
what
that. I
happened?
was waiting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what happened. So for those of you who don't know, Big Wake actually got sick today before the second match, and they ended up bringing in Beans. I have no idea what happened with Big Wake. I was talking to Caesar because he was on the couch. He said he looked fine when he talked to him earlier today. I'm guessing maybe he ate something. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
he,
Zinni tweeted out an hour ago. He said, "I don't even have the words. Thank you, Beans, for filling in and hoping Awakening feels better soon."
yeah, I don't know.
And then he tweeted again, but like that's just.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's not like Beans is a slouch, right? Like, Beans is a beast.
No, he's
Yeah.
a beast.
Beans
But
is
I
pretty
mean,
good.
Pat, when you change a player last second, I mean, you practice with a team, a full roster.
Did it happen
for
mid series
weeks.
or before series?
Before
It was
the series.
and they
Oh.
already had lost a series too, and they lost
With
it to-
Awakening, they
They
lost.
lost it to Elevate.
Yeah, they lost to
Oh,
the
man.
amateur team. Elevate came out to play
Like,
and
Hey, we
beat
lost
them.
an amateur team too.
I mean,
Mhm.
I mean, at the
Round
end of the-
11, last map too.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
the
Jay
other-
Gizmo put fucking
Gizmo?
Gizmo popped off, bro.
Your dog Gizmo?
Yeah, Joe Gizmo, the fucking
No.
the man of the hour. Not
I think-
fucking little
I
Gizmo.
think,
the
I
dog.
think, I think he. I don't think the M4 is the reason why they've gone worse, but like, dude, Boston has actually been losing in some like very like unfortunate ways. You can go back and watch some
Close matches, bro.
Like, they're
Yeah.
just having
Well-
such close matches, and they're not, they're just not clutching up.
They've lost 3 straight as well, right?
Yep.
Or
Yeah.
Yep, 3
Three?
straight. They lost to Vegas today, and they lost to Elevate 2-3. Both
wait,
two last
and they
maps.
lost 2 league matches last week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They
have
lost 4
So
straight.
they're on a four
Four straight.
four.
Wait, did they
Or-
lose?
Hey,
wait, were there league
hey,
matches last
Simmy.
map losses too?
Yeah, they
Dude.
lost both.
Yeah, I
They
think-
lost to
I think
LG and someone else. I forgot. I don't
Wait,
know.
and
Yeah,
did they go
Simmy-
last map? One of them I think
Simmy-
might have been a 3-1. I can't.
They won
remember.
last
Hey.
map two times today.
Hey,
They
Pat,
won
yeah,
game
today,
five
but
twice
I'm talking about the
What's
other
up,
two
Pat?
Think
matches
about
they
this
lost
though.
to.
Think about this.
What's up, Pat?
M4, they were 2-0. Scar Vaznev 0-4. You gotta think. You do. You really gotta think. I mean, 0-4. That's a stat line. Like
Mhm.
that doesn't happen accidentally.
I'm not going to say that's the reason why they're struggling or any team would struggle, but at the end of the day, the M4 meta literally just changed the dynamic of teams because sub players actually have to play their roles. And like, granted, the sub is gross, and like there are potential for you to do a lot of stuff with the SMG. There's just clear defining roles that the SMG has to play, and on top of that, the pacing of the game changes because as you could be aggressive with the M4, but the pace that you could play at with SMGs is just far faster.
Yeah.
So like it takes adjusting, and it's not necessarily the weapon; it might just be the dynamic of the gameplay change that the
That's
Vaznev
fair.
brings.
That's fair, Chris. But I think we do need to recognize that there might have been some M4 merchants up in Boston.
Hey, Pat, well, I feel like only time will tell. You know, we'll see what goes on with that. I don't know. I personally think it's a coincidence. I don't think it would affect it that much. I don't
Yeah, I
think
mean,
it's that big of a
They've
difference.
lost 2 last maps.
They have
today.
They have two really aggressive sub players that have been for like Vivid looked fantastic today in the Vaz. Like he was frying.
I think they've literally out of the 4 series they lost. The 2 on land they lost last map, and they also I think one of their series on at home when they lost was also a last map.
But I
could be
think-
wrong. Oh yeah,
I
it was.
think
It was a
the
reverse
LAG.
sweep.
Yeah,
It was
LAG.
one of them. No, the LAG one was a 3-1. They got
Hmm.
reverse swept. Who'd they get reverse swept by?
You're right. I
Subliners.
someone knows.
Subliners.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you
So
go.
like I said, like they've
There you go.
lost 3 fucking
Round
game
11s.
fives.
Or
Or not
But
game
something-
fives, yeah, game fives.
Something to consider though is the pacing difference between the M4, like all players running an M4 versus Vivid and Nero now running Vaznev's playing super fast, and Methods and Wake obviously on Scars playing a lot slower. Like when they were all on the same weapon, I feel like their pacing was more aligned, and now it's definitely
probably a little bit
separated
more.
a little
Yeah.
bit.
Now
Yeah.
that's a pretty good take, but at the same time, I think also the first week of matches, a lot of teams are getting their map pools. And if you watch Boston series, like their first 2 series they won, 'cause people were probably underrating them versus especially like Faze, they got their good maps, and people didn't probably know what they were good at. And now after this first week, like people catch on, they know your maps, like you're just less likely to get some of those and guarantee map wins. So
Yeah, they might need more time, and I also felt bad. I don't give a fuck how good Beans is. I mean, when you have to make a substitute before a match at a major, when you just practice with Wake for
last
weeks.
month and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it did. That sucks. Like, especially the Search and Destroy where they got piss slammed on the last map.
Especially their best player
Right.
too. Wake
Yeah,
is everything for
Bennett's
that
big
team.
wake. That's like their slayer, their roamer. They
Yeah.
play around him, you know. So I just felt like it might have threw them off a little bit. I
Well,
feel
hold
I
on.
feel for Boston a
About that
little bit here.
matchup, we still got to talk about Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to get there next. I
Yeah.
mean, I definitely want to talk about Vegas Legion next. Vegas were able to take down Boston 3-2. They ended up eliminating them. Really good plays out of them. And then Vegas also took
Big-
LA Thieves to a last map
9-5,
today,
right? Yeah.
which I thought was incredible to see. TJ Haley looks fucking great.
That's a
bro.
grudge match for Vegas.
TJ
bro,
looks
'cause
fucking
TJ looks
insane.
TJ looks back.
He's
Bro,
he's
really?
back,
Bro,
bro.
he
He's
was-
I didn't
back,
watch.
bro.
I didn't watch
He's
the match.
back.
How was
Bro,
it?
He's good.
TJ
He's
has
frying.
been bro. TJ literally had the Kenny, bro. TJ
Yeah,
was
he's
been running
frying.
an AR for like the last like couple. Like he ran an AR, I think, in the last like 2 games.
Yeah, and now he's got a sub that
Now
he
he
can
has
get kills
actually
with.
SMG, and he's playing with good vocal players. He looks comfortable. Also, I know a lot of people saw this drama on Reddit and like Twitter and stuff like that with me and like ProLoot. Like, listen, I'm never gonna sugarcoat the way I talk about players. If they're underperforming, I'm gonna tell them they're underperforming. Preston, good friend of mine, P Dog. But I tell him he's underperforming. But when he's performing, I'm gonna give him his flowers. ProLoot played really good today.
Pro
Yeah,
looked.
Pro
I
Loot
mean, that was the next person on my
Yeah.
list. Pro Loot was like one of their better players today.
Yeah,
It was
espe-
insane. I love seeing Pro Loot do well because I think he's a good player.
Yeah.
Personally, I think he's a really good player, and I like what he brings to a team in terms of comms and just.
I think he has a lot of
Passion,
intangibles, and his
you know?
S&D is really good. My thing is, well, the reason why Vegas was able to win was, granted, they won their couple of their searches. They actually were upsetting in these respawns. And I think Byron just playing better and not having these like -10 maps is obviously going to help them, because when one player like that is just playing so outrageously bad, like in from an individual perspective, it's going to make it harder to win maps. So him obviously stepping up in that category while still maintaining his S&D and obviously the intangibles they could bring in terms of the vocals, like that's just that's good. That's a dub. That's a dub for
It was
Vegas.
just cool to see, even
What,
for
what
the
maps
first
did they
map.
win against the
I have
Thieves?
no idea. I mean, we watched how many series today? 20 fucking
Yeah.
series. But one thing I will say is Vegas outslayed the fuck out of LA Thieves in the first match, which was cool to see. The first map, I mean, if you're outslaying the world champions, like I feel like it
That's a
says
good look.
yeah, it's a good look for your team. And in the S&D, the second map, I mean, LA Thieves reverse swept them. Vegas was up 2-0. It was Donnie in the round 11. Second map got an ace in the round 11. Donnie killed all 4 of them, so that was a fucking great play. And TJ had like 15 or 16 kills. So they were putting on a show, man. Vegas looked good. And then once LA Thieves won the control, it kind of flipped the momentum, and LA Thieves came back. It was great maps, close maps. But it was 11-2 from fucking Envoy to end things. So just really good plays from LA Thieves. It
I
just
think,
kind of stay level
I
headed.
think
You know?
looking back on it, Tom, that series they played against Minnesota last Sunday was like, I think, a big momentum swing for them, because they were looking at an 0-4 hull and probably like a little bit of a tricky mental. They won that series and actually played really well against the Rocker team that I think was 3-0 at the time.
Yeah.
And since then they come today again. They are very clearly not a bottom feeder team. Like, they're a serviceable team, and they have a very good chance tomorrow they can get it done to get out of groups and do something about
And they play Elevate. Vegas plays Elevate, right? That's
So-
who plays tomorrow?
To get
Yeah.
out?
Yeah, so that's an elimination game. Whoever wins goes through.
Yeah.
Whoever loses
I
is
think
done.
that team just needed a W. Like, obviously the whole thing with Vegas or Paris, prior, was they didn't win a series since how long ago? Like, I can't remember the
It was
date.
like
was forever.
300
It
or
was
265
long.
days.
That
265 days.
is
There you go.
absurd.
He'll pack
The
up the
fact that they
stats,
haven't
man.
won a game since that long, and then obviously Donnie's been in this position where he's been going through that. Clay obviously hasn't been the best point in his career. TJ, these guys are all coming off like lows, maybe besides ProLu, because ProLu obviously got the sub in for OpTic, and he kind of like got to show what he was about.
Yeah.
But they're all coming off of very low points in their career. Right? We didn't even know if Clay was going to compete.
Yeah.
Like, I think they just needed a dub under their belt, because like if they just kept losing, right? Like, these guys would get into that state where they're just like down bad, and like I don't know.
That's what you lose your confidence when you keep
That win
losing.
was so important for these guys, because
Yeah.
dude, you saw the reaction, Donnie and Clay's reaction. They were so gassed
They were
up
hyped.
Yeah.
They were
when
hyped
they won
up,
their first
man.
series online.
Listen,
So
I will say this: Elevate to me they're a good team, bro. They're gonna have to go into that match tomorrow, ready to go. Because I don't give a fuck if they're from challengers. They look good today, bro.
yeah, they
Yeah.
look good.
They look good and they were moving, and their players definitely have talent, man. So I'm excited for that one tomorrow. Who you guys got in that one? Vegas Elevate. Who do you got? I'm gonna go
boys,
Vegas.
We haven't talked about the Elevate boys.
Yeah,
they
let's
actually
talk about
looked
'em.
pretty good today. So I think
Vortex was doing his thing. He was
Yeah.
moving.
and I thought Jay Gizmo, and we've been very critical
Trying.
of Giz last year. He was very good online to get to land, and I just think the whole team environment is also dealing with some external stuff.
Yeah,
He really struggled at times last year, but I thought he came to this event today and played really good. And I would say that I think I have Vegas in this series in a game 5, but I think the Elevate boys are going to make it pretty interesting tomorrow.
Yeah, I think
we'll see.
I'm gonna go for Elevate. I'm obviously just gonna go for the challenger team here to qualify. Those guys are they just deserve it, bro. Like I'm not saying Vegas doesn't deserve to be in the major, but Elevate deserves like this type of spotlight. You got players on there that are severely underrated, like Vortex. He's probably been the winningest challenger player in Europe for a while, but he's that like leadership, that like objective type player where he's very selfless, right?
Yeah.
So he's not getting that spotlight, but he's a genius. He's a mastermind, very smart player. Then you got Denza, wildly talented SMG, was about to quit last year, and are going into this year, and he didn't. He decided to stay with his duo. Vortex, Gizmo was getting grilled last year, but I think he's one of those cases where he's a super talented player, but he just wasn't in the right environment. And Harry, another one, he was a sub on the Royal Ravens roster. Same thing. It's just there's just a lot of these
They're just
players
hungry.
in challengers that don't get the opportunities to be put on the spotlight, or when they get these pro opportunities, they're not put in ideal situations.
Yep.
They're put on rosters to kind of almost like save them or like bail them out of like unfortunate situations and stuff like that. And it really sucks because then people see them in a bad light. They go back to challengers and they're never seen from again.
Yeah.
But good for them. For frying.
Yep, no, good on them. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Elevate versus, but we got a lot of elimination matches tomorrow. It's gonna be fucking lit. And then we got Group D. We got Atlanta Faze. We got LAG Academy, London, of course, and Seattle Surge. Obviously, for London, it was a rough one. We already talked about it a little bit. They ended up falling to Seattle today, right? Seattle. How did you think about the Seattle squad today? Obviously, they came out with a big dub, but how do you think they looked?
I think against the Seattle series, we lost 3-0, but I think it was a very close 3-0.
It was.
The first map, we had 4 sets of streaks, and we still lost. We were up like 80 points going to like the last laundry hill, and then we got full 60 by max 3-piece. I think overall, I would say that we were the better team, but we did choke every single map. So I mean, I think Seattle did clutch up.
We didn't talk about the Thieves at all.
Oh, we didn't talk about the
Oh.
Thieves. Did we move too quick?
Were
Oh,
they Group C?
Yeah, they're Group C. I mean, we'll talk about them. I mean, we're fine. It doesn't matter. We
Go
can talk about. Yeah, we're good. We'll talk about them.
No,
Yeah,
I was
keep
just gonna say, against Seattle, we did get 3-0'd, but I felt like that first map was a big pivotal moment because we had 4 sets of streaks and we choked.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, Seattle Surge. I agree. The Mac 3-piece was a big one in the
Mhm.
in the first map. So good plays out of him. And then I want to talk about LAG Academy a little bit because I think they're probably the best challengers team personally. I don't know what you guys
Playing
think.
against them, they are the best challengers team for sure.
I mean, I thought they looked good against Atlanta Faze. They took Atlanta Faze to a last map, and those guys are no fucking joke.
It was a weird series, Tom, because like LAG Academy looked really good in the hard points, and the control and the two SNEs actually really weren't that close. But I agree with you. I think LAG Academy might have a slight edge over the Elevate guys. I think that's a big tip to.
they're the number 1 seed in NA,
Adam
right?
Assault, yeah. Adam Assault, Exceed, Joe Thieves. Who am I missing? Who's their fourth?
It's
Diamond Con.
Diamond Con, yeah.
He
I
played
mean,
well today too.
Diamond
Diamond
Con
Con
had
is
some
a
good-
special S&D star.
He had
Yeah,
some good
no, he's
snakes.
good.
He's
Some
special.
typical
Bro.
snakes there at
listen,
Diamond Con.
I'm gonna say it again. A lot of people are like looking at this team. It's like another challengers team. Yeah, they're in challengers, but look who's on their roster: Assault, world champion, MVP.
MVP, yeah.
My
Exceed-
son, my son,
Exceed
my
was
son.
Exceed was in the league. Granted, he didn't
Hard
get
cut,
like
Pat.
he didn't get many opportunities, but he was on your team,
Minnesota
Rocker,
Rocker and
where he had
MLW.
to sub in. And no offense, your team obviously fell off towards
We
the
were
later
on a 10
stages
losing
when
streak,
yeah,
yeah.
when you guys got back to the online stages. Not an ideal situation. Back to challengers for him.
Mhm.
Diamond Con was on New York.
All year
another
with
team
me.
that you were
Yeah, all
and
year
he
with
was
me.
he was playing good at points, and then whoop, back to challengers.
I team with 3
Like-
of those players.
Bro, yeah, that's actually
Yeah.
crazy. But there's just so many of these situations where some of these players just don't get in the right environment or just have like unfortunate starts, and they just they're never seen from again. But like, dude, these players improve.
Yeah.
These players obviously are all pro capable. They're disgusting players. Props to them for obviously just sticking it out with their team and playing well. Also, Joe Thieves.
Great player.
He surprised me. I'm not
He surprised me
the
as well.
reason why
Did he? I
is
thought people
because
talk very highly about him though.
they
before
do
going in.
they do, but like usually a lot of people, like besides a couple of players like Scrappy, for example, where like, oh, this guy's like gonna
Over
fry.
years.
Joe was still one of those players where I'm like, I don't know how he's gonna do with his first event.
Because he
He's got
came
a
out
lot
of nowhere,
pressure.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a
That's
lot of
why.
pressure on his shoulders, but like, bro, he was getting loud. He was talking shit.
Yeah.
Like, he obviously showed that he's a very confident player, and obviously, he played well. They're in this
Yeah.
position now.
Playing against him, to be honest, I like knowing from prior history, like me, MC, a lot of people who have their first event, they struggle,
Mhm.
and like he honestly was very loud today, and he shit on us, to be honest. So
yeah,
like,
no, he looked
props
good,
to him.
though. No, he
Yeah,
looks really good.
I think he ended up going negative in the Faze series, but I know he played really good in the second
No,
series.
he
they
played. He
so-
played really good against us. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Jodeci's looked great. I just thought LAG Academy as a whole looked really good. Obviously, they took a Faze to a last map. That one went 3-2. Faze looked really good against Seattle. They 3-0'd Seattle, which
I didn't watch that series.
I didn't expect a 3-0 Faze. I thought we were going to see like a map 5, like a fucking nail biter.
That
Even
always happens to Faze though. Because
yeah,
they always
I
have
mean,
a sloppy first series, then they like come back
They
the
just
next
wake up.
one.
They
They
wake
wake
up.
up. Yeah, I think that's really what it is with
yeah,
them.
Pat, and I know what you're going to say, Pat, but before you say
what
it,
was he gonna say?
before you say it, every time FaZe and Seattle have played in the past, they have been very good matches. They've gone.
That's true.
They've,
Every single
they
time.
match up really good against each other.
But
That's
it's
the only reason why I
also-
thought it'd be a close
I
match.
know what Pat's about to say. Here you
It's
go, Pat.
also been the same story, Tom, and I'm tired.
What's the story,
of-
Pat?
I'm tired of Fraud Latto getting away with it.
Fraud
Okay.
Latto.
Who's Frog Latto?
Seattle.
Pat, did you
Oh. Wait, what's
They-
the record against FaZe? I feel like they always beat FaZe.
No,
It's
they
not
have a
it's
good
not-
record against
It's not about
FaZe.
Faze. He's just
No,
talking about
no.
Seattle overall as like a
overall,
team.
Seattle, they can only win, one, if Pred and Sib are frying, but two, if their two other teammates don't just drop the absolute stinkers. And today, Mac and Lamar, two stinkers, like big time stinkers. Think about this. Sid and Pred both had double the amount of kills that Lamar and Mac had. And listen, we've said it before. They had an awesome opportunity this offseason to pack a punch. They didn't. And I think it's really going to bite them in the ass this year.
So you're
'Cause
saying
in
that you
series like this, you just can't compete if two of your four teammates are just throwing up absolute
They're
stinkers
just
when you
inconsistent players.
have clear stars on the team in Sid and Preb, right? We've known that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you don't have the consistency around those stars, it's not going to matter. Listen, the Lakers are going through the same thing right now.
Ah,
AD
here
and
we go.
LeBron, and there's no one else on the team to help. There's just nobody else. And I feel like Seattle's in the same boat. And if I'm Sid and I'm Pred, I'm going to management and I'm like, yo, either get me some damn help or I'm requesting a trade.
Well, listen, to defend Seattle, last year, what did they get first event? They got
Like
last.
dead
they
last?
got shit on.
All right, so I mean, like, are we not gonna we shouldn't be just blown by them? Like,
But that's a
No,
bad
I mean,
thing.
this is Pat
Simi.
talking right now, not we.
Yeah.
Don't
Wait,
say
wait,
we.
but hold
It's
on.
him,
You know what I'm
yeah.
But
saying?
hold on, Simi, that's a bad thing because this was their whole thing last year. It was rock bottom to like mid pack to like rock bottom to win an event to rock bottom to third or fourth at champs, whatever they got.
Yeah,
And like that's to me, that's not a team I want to be on. Like that's just all over the place.
It's
like
inconsistent.
They need
Listen,
more consistency.
have-
they're just not
Right.
consistent.
Listen,
right,
guys,
but
they're-
but it's because they have two superstar capable players that could definitely deliver multiple championships, and they just have too many inconsistencies.
listen, there's-
Sometimes
there's-
I feel like it's the superstars
There's
getting
another way
pooped
to
on,
look at
but-
it. It's not just slaying, bro. Like their biggest weakness at the end of last year
SND.
and why they lost
SND.
to Faze at champs was S&D. And so far this year they've won one S&D the entire year. That was earlier today.
Yeah.
And then the
Their
second
search
S&D
is
against
just
FaZe
always
was pretty much one-sided. So, like, they got to figure out search. I think, yeah, you can't really do much about the talent gap right now, and I think Mac's got to be more consistent, and we know what Lamar brings. But they got to get better in
Yeah,
search,
they
bro.
can hear it.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah,
I'm
sorry if you
sorry.
guys can hear
It's
the
the
beeps.
forklift.
He's
back. He's
yeah,
going
yeah.
in reverse.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you
yeah, chill out, bro.
Wait,
they're
yeah,
working hard.
that's
They're
not what
cleaning up
that
the
is.
venue.
That's not what that is.
Oh God.
What is
That's
that?
that's the fire alarm because the Seattle Surge camp is on fire.
All right,
and
No,
they
let's move
need
on.
Listen,
Bro,
listen.
they
all-
need to
la-
fix
last
it.
thing I'm gonna say about Seattle because we played them in a league match this stage. The thing about them is that their hardpoint is so good because they have rules and they follow those rules. Especially Lamar and Mac, they're
Yeah.
really good at following rules and like guidelines and like game plans. But in search, you can't have a game plan. And I've played against them in search, and they're just so one-dimensional.
Yeah, they do the same
it's so
thing every round.
frustrating. Like
Yeah.
Yo,
you can read them every time. Like I remember playing them on Mercado Search and saying Mac and Dante are hedged, and guess what? They're hedged.
They're
Every
hedged.
single defense, they're hedged.
Mhm.
Like they need a little bit more like creativity.
I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of teams in the pro league like that, bro.
No,
There's a
I
lot of teams who be
completely
doing
agree.
the same shit
Yeah,
every round, bro.
100%.
Caesar was talking about it on the couch when he was here. He was like, bro, I mean, I just watched their VOD and like I saw where they played every round,
And then you just know,
it was
yeah.
free snipes.
I agree.
Like, bro,
You
I
guys-
hate when teams play
We-
like that.
hate like
we
that
were
too.
talking about earlier with FaZe. Like, you watch how FaZe played S&D today. They're definitely playing a little bit more Austin Liticote style. They're playing for picks, a lot of mid-round calls, and it's very hard to game against because it's all situational S&D play.
Mhm.
You're not just running defaults where you're just going to gun them in the same spots over and over and over. So,
Yeah, you can
but
literally
y'all don't
just...
think
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah.
No, you go ahead, Chris. I'll
I was
grab you.
I was gonna say, you can literally play S&D, especially in a slower game like this, where you just spread the map and all pick random like lanes and
spots,
just
yeah.
spots where you want to like, oh, let me look for something, and then get information and just react. That's literally all you can do. You don't always have to game plan and stack this and hit this and nade this and rush this. You can literally play purely off of gather information, react, and that is just something that you cannot prep for.
You can't practice that.
Yeah,
You
you
have to
can't
just
prep
have
for it. You just have to have like a knack for it. You just have to be good at it. That's something that I struggle telling my team to do is like they have such good game plans, but after they execute the game plan, if it doesn't if it doesn't net them kills, they almost like don't know what to do, and that's something that a lot of people struggle with.
No, there's a lot of pro teams like
Yeah,
that.
100%. They do something, nothing happens.
It's not just
what do we
Seattle.
do?
It's a lot of pro teams.
What do
like
we do?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just like
Those are some great
individual
points.
players, you know, that just
Yeah.
like go to the same spot every round, and it's just it just gets to a point where it's like, okay, you know where they're gonna be every round. I mean, Ben, when I used to play, I use that to my advantage all the time.
Mid map, London Ducks.
Yeah, I mean, well, that was different. That was run mid map and do whatever the fuck I wanted. It
That's
just,
what you
know,
should have done on London Docks.
Yeah, that was. I
Yeah,
mean,
that was the game plan. on
it
the
was if
Dodge.
you didn't get mid map control, you were
You're
chalk.
chalk,
So I just played the 1v1 every round, and it was fun.
Before we move on though, y'all didn't think that was crazy that as soon as we started talking about Seattle, you started hearing the little beat.
Bro.
Dude,
I tried
Pat,
to
what
tell
do you-
y'all.
Dude,
Listen,
wrong.
I
Move
tried
on,
to tell
bro.
y'all. I tried to tell y'all. Seattle's a blip on the radar. As soon as we started talking about it, you just hear the
No.
blip. Beep.
What's wrong with
Dude,
that
I
guy,
hate
bro?
Blip on the
that.
radar. Just.
I hate this guy.
I tried to tell y'all.
We can cringe
Well-
in person tomorrow when he gets here.
Well, before we move on, we do have an elimination game tomorrow. It's going to be Seattle Surge going up against LAG Academy, correct?
Yeah.
Unless I'm
Yeah,
wrong
no,
on
no,
that.
that's correct.
So who do you guys got?
So this might be worst possible case for Seattle.
Yeah, it's
because,
pretty bad.
And the reason why, just because I know
where
these
he's going with
guys,
this.
they're a good S&D team. Like I know they're a good S&D team from online, but their LAN HP's looking good. So like if they can sneak a hard point off Seattle, which is pretty one-dimensional in their game modes, this is not looking good for them at
I mean,
all.
yeah, we just got Nesla by LAG Academy, so
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
if
Not-
they steal
not
a
even
hard point,
that.
they will.
If they can steal that HP, which they were doing off Faze, like
The bigger
They won two
story
hard
here.
points against
they won
Faze,
two.
right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Faze
the bigger
Neslo to the
story-
Yeah,
Academy
they've,
team.
they've,
Yeah.
they've got Neslo and Neslo today. I agree.
Lamar
Go ahead.
can't beat Assault.
Pat. Ooh.
We'll
Is that
see.
Where
true?
did that come from?
That's
Yeah, I
true.
don't know.
Lamar can't be the Saul. Where's this from?
Where's that narrative from?
Pat
World
just
War
hates
II,
Lamar,
baby.
bro.
Just that,
World
just
War
champs,
II.
just
Okay.
champs, or how many times?
Listen, I agree with Chris, bro. This is like if you had to pick for Seattle,
Oh, you're
like how
yeah,
you want this
it
to go
looks bad.
down. Like LAG is actually a really tough draw for them. Now, obviously, both teams have an opportunity to kind of go back and sort of game plan for this match because they're not going to play till really later tomorrow. Like it's 4 o'clock. I think they're going to play. But
There's only
unfortunately-
one stream tomorrow.
No, there's
Nah,
two.
there's
So
probably multiple
they
still.
play those elimination games at 4, and then 5:30 they're going to play the winners round 1 matches
Okay, cool.
tomorrow.
Yeah, no.
Because Code Ball is from like 12 to 4. But
Oh,
I,
what the hell?
yeah, so I think, bro, like I actually might go LAG Academy low key in this.
You're
game.
gonna go LAG Academy?
Yeah, if the LG Academy guys play the way they played today, I think they have a real chance to win that series, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Seattle Surge personally. I mean, listen, bro. The way Pat be talking about Seattle Surge, you would think these guys are terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, I just don't think like that when it comes to Seattle Surge.
It's for me. It's just hard to see a series where like if Seattle just keeps not winning searches, they're gonna beat this team if they play as good as they did today, which we'll see how consistent
So
they
you
are.
tell me they've only won one
Seattle's
search?
1 and 2.
yeah, and it was
one
on
and
land.
26,
It was on
that's
land.
it.
It was
Wait,
today.
what map did they beat you on?
yeah, they we lost Embassy S or Hardpoint. Then we played.
I gotta tell you right now.
I'm drawing a blank. I don't even know. It wasn't Fortress. It was a Silo. A Silo S&D.
Silo,
That's
wow,
what it was.
they actually won that
Well,
map.
that's their map pick though. If you look back in stage 1, because we did VOD, they don't have any VOD on Asilo S&D because that's what they pick, but it's always map 5, so they never get to
They
that.
never get to it.
Yeah, so today was the first time they played it against us and they beat us. So
yeah.
they're,
Okay.
I guess their best hardpoint or their best S&D is Asilo, and they just got it today. So
Yeah, and then
The only
that's-
way-
Go ahead, Pat.
That only way that Seattle wins tomorrow is if Pred and Sib come crazy. It's the only way. Otherwise,
nah, they
LAG
come crazy
Academy's
every
taking
day.
it home.
It's you don't have to worry about.
No,
those
but I
two.
mean
It's
like
more
I
so
mean like
about-
crazy. So I mean like dropping 1.5s when your teammates got 0.5s for the dub. Like that kind of crazy. Otherwise, LAG Academy's walking away with it.
It's got to be a respawn masterclass tomorrow for Seattle if they want to win.
Before we move on to some questions from the Atlanta Faze booth, you want to talk about these a little bit? I mean, bro, they're the defending champs. I mean, these guys
We're
are
not.
coming.
We're just gonna talk about Group D. We're doing the last group now, right?
We're
was
done.
Group D.
That was Group D.
Okay.
We've gone through all the groups. But Chris wanted to talk a little bit more about LA Thieves. I see some people in the chat talking about LA Thieves.
Well, I saw
I
their
mean, bro.
tweets about Vegas. Like they said that it came too close to comfort. Like
They're gonna come out swinging.
yeah. So like what happened in that series like against Vegas?
It
Like,
was
I
a
felt like
close
LA
series.
Thieves, they went
Vegas
2-0 today, so they advanced. But like
Yeah, I think it was just a close series. Same with
Okay.
Elevate. I think they had some close hard points, but I think if anything that stands out about Thieves is they still got that composure, right? They still have even though the series has been close, right? All their players are like playing their role well. You see Kenny running the sub still.
I love Kenny on
playing
the
it
sub,
well.
bro.
Envoy still being that little ratty player. You still
Yeah.
have
He's so good
Draza
at that,
popping off
yeah.
slaying, and Sam, doing what he does with AR.
Yeah.
I think granted that these guys have had close series, they still look like a really good team. They look well put together. Is my thing, and so we'll see how that continues in the tournament. But I think
Yep.
they just had composure.
And you got to think they're coming off a 2-event win right now. They won the last 2 events
true,
last
that's a
year.
good
They're
point.
feeling confident. I'm sure they
They're
feel
looking for
that
the three-peat.
confidence.
They're looking for the
Yeah, I
three-peat.
mean, I'm sure they're challenging with confidence.
I
Like
mean,
those guys are moving.
the
for
one
sure.
thing I will say about LA Thieves is like even when you go to the PPA or the backstage, like when you see all these teams huddled up and like practicing and they're in their little booth, LA Thieves is just the only team that I've seen that just like not because they're laughing together and that their vibes are good. They're just the most like
Relax.
In
they're
sync.
just the most
Yeah.
like in sync team ever. Like they're just the most like the team culture there is so like ahead from all these other teams that it's
Mhm.
absurd. And
Yeah.
and just walking by them you can notice it. So I feel like that's the one big kudos that like we don't really give about
That's what I'm
LATs.
saying. They're just so put together.
They're just so put together to get like in sync and like into one. Like I know we always talk about Kenny and Envoy and all these players and Draza popping
They're all
off.
good. Octane.
Yeah,
the
they're
whole
all
team's
good,
Yeah, the
but
whole entire team's-
overall, what makes them the best team in the game is that they're just the best put together team.
They're in their bag, bro.
Yeah.
Plain simple. Like,
Yeah.
they're here at every single event, literally just looking for the dub. That's all they care about. They don't care about anybody else.
Yeah.
They just do their thing and focus on themselves.
Yep. Pat, any final comments on LA Thieves before we head into some questions?
Yeah, I think they're looking good. I think they're a guaranteed candidate for top 3 this event. But I did like what you said that they're in their bag. But the only issue is that Toronto Ultra is coming to
Here
rob
we go.
that
Here
bag,
we go. This fucking
and
guy.
they will in the grand finals beat the LA Thieves at Raleigh, North Carolina.
We also didn't really touch on Faze because we kind of glazed over both these teams because they both obviously went 2-0. But I mean, dude, Faze, they still look good, right? They look good with Slasher. Celium is still frying.
Yep.
Abeezy's been playing good, and Abeezy and Vanguard, I think he started to get better at the end of the year. But it's good to see them. He's starting off well because last year that wasn't the
single-handedly
case.
won them a map today.
Yeah, he was
in-between
fine.
hardpoint.
The Vaznev fits
the
him.
pitch
fits
on
him
Embassy,
easy, man.
yeah.
The
He
Vaznev
hit
fits
an
him, dude.
ASIM route today. He hit
Yeah,
a route
he
man
did a good
against
ace
Paige.
long route.
The
Yeah.
Nah, FaZe got a
Vaznev-
good team,
The
for
Vaznev
sure.
fits him, bro. This gun has insane handling. Like you can just full sprint people with the Vaznev,
Yeah, you
especially on
can.
land.
Yeah,
you
you
just
can.
shotgun them.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he's playing really good.
I
right
like
now.
Slasher on that team too, bro. A lot of people question the Slasher pickup. I like it.
But they've been clean in search, and I think that's the biggest weakness from them. Last year, they were a good search team, but not a great search team.
Austin was what like the #1 search
Yeah.
KD all year last
They
year.
might
So I
be-
mean, think about it. Like they were struggling in S&D all year last year, so they replaced Alec with an S&D star.
Yeah.
So I'm calling Austin S&D star as well now.
He was playing a lot of
Yeah,
S&D
yeah,
last year.
yeah.
You can call him S&D
Just,
star.
just
Austin-
addressing
Austin's a
somebody.
champion,
Just
yeah.
addressing somebody in the chat. FaZe was looking beatable. Every team was looking beatable. The only
Yeah.
team that, dude, even
Because
though Ultra-
everybody is beatable.
Yeah,
That's
Well,
the problem.
every team I went were map 5 today.
Yeah,
no?
map
every team had at
5, I
least
mean,
like a map 5. like,
Pat's
they
talking
were
about it.
lost.
Ultra. They won last map Apollo
Wait,
drum.
wait,
they did.
guys, hold on. There's only one team at this event who's 6-0 in map count, and
New
it's
York
Toronto
Subliners.
Ultra.
Oh.
New York
No,
Subliners.
No, it's Subliners.
Ah, yeah, sure.
New York
Subliners.
Subliners.
Wow.
Whoa.
New York
Okay, but listen,
Subliners
but
are
listen,
on the map
Toronto
today.
Ultra went-
but
they
listen,
reversed
hey, there's
swept in
only
the first
two
series.
teams. There's only 2 teams then that are on a 6
I
map
got him,
win
Nick.
streak.
Ted, I
Nah,
got
Pat,
him.
Say that
Okay,
out.
okay.
Say
There's
that
two
one.
teams.
Okay, bro.
man.
There's only
Move
two
on to
teams
the
that are
questions.
6
Let's
map
move
win
on to the
streak.
fucking questions.
L-
Go
Wait,
ahead.
Wait, I
Nick.
want to bring up one more
Okay.
thing before the questions.
go ahead,
Oh,
Asim.
dude.
I want to bring
Go
up one. How many hand towels did we see today? From yours truly, I started that.
Did
Did
you
I
start
not?
a hand towels?
Yes, I
no,
did.
you did start the hand
Bro,
towels.
come
Yeah,
on, you
no,
guys
he
got to
did,
give me
he
that.
did, he
I
did, he
started
did.
it, bro.
Nah, he
Bro,
did.
I
He
saw
started the hand
Inder with
towels.
it. I saw Scump with it. I saw Boston with it. I saw so many people with it, bro.
I mean, listen, I'm not trying to take away from your shine here. I'm really
Yeah.
not. But I used to bring a towel sometimes. Very rarely.
Okay.
But
Alright,
it was mainly just loaded with gamer grip.
Teams are gonna
Okay.
teams
You
are
know what
literally
I'm
gonna
saying?
start making like branded.
They
hand
already
towels.
doing
They
it.
should.
They're
They
already
should.
doing it.
That's a great idea.
I think
Yeah,
Toronto
100%.
Ultra has them.
Yeah,
And
well,
they have branded bottles,
we
too.
have-
Like
we
the
have-
big jugs, the big water
Mm.
jugs.
That's actually lit.
Okay.
Those guys know what they're
Yeah,
doing.
nah, they've been doing that
We have
shit.
this one.
What
this
is
one?
that? Oh, there you go. There you
the
go.
LAG
It's a
hand
There you go.
towel.
I told
Is
you.
this-
Wait, no free Palmer.
Wait, that's not a towel though. That's more like this is not
That's
the
a mouse
material.
pad, no?
That should be cleaning your glasses.
Yeah,
That's
this
what
is
you clean
like
your glasses
Oh,
with.
yeah, this
that's
isn't the
not a hand
right.
towel,
Nah, bro. This
Yeah,
is,
wait, what? Ben just
Oh,
tried to
hell
set me
no.
up right there, bro.
Yeah,
Wait,
whatever.
wait. Y'all should save that for me.
Wow,
Yeah.
no.
Nah,
no,
bro.
no,
I might have
no,
to go to the
no,
bathroom
no,
while I'm
no,
there.
No, I knew you were
Hey,
going
yo.
there. I
You know
knew
what-
you
you
were
know what else-
going there, bro.
you know
The
what
LAG's still in it for tomorrow, no?
Yeah, they're still in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
They're still in it.
You know, we
but-
also saw it today too. We were watching COD Mobile in the morning. They all use a
Bro.
fucking pillow, bro, where they rest
Yeah,
their
the
Glom
elbows.
pillow.
Tom? The little
Well,
thing?
they go like this because they just
Oh.
like kind of put it low.
All right, listen, bro. I gotta say this, bro. COD Mobile, their camos are insane.
camos
Are
are
they
insane.
actually? I have
What
not
the
seen these.
fuck?
Wait.
Yeah, they're all animated.
Bro,
it looks
apparently
so
they're
cool. It looks
exciting.
like Valorant.
I saw
Like,
someone. I don't know if they were gassing it, but some people were like, they're like $300. Somebody were saying they were
Because
expensive.
you got to open cases to get them. Like they the purifier skin that everybody uses, like the water skin, so it shoots water and not flame.
so why don't they do
Yeah.
do that for like us? You know what I'm saying? Like
I
that
mean,
shit's
don't
cool.
they have like 30 maps that are all remastered?
Yeah,
from
they
the
have
old
all
CODs?
remastered maps.
We have
like,
30 maps.
bro, they have the best map set ever. Like it's like
They
the
actually
greatest
do.
maps
Yeah.
all time.
We, see
like,
we saw them playing Hossie Control today. That was hilarious.
Really?
Yeah,
Dude, they play
bro.
Control,
They
bro.
play all the
They
good
play
maps.
Control. They play Search. Do they play any other game modes? Do they?
The same as us, I think.
They play-
Hardpoint, S&D,
Do
and
they play
Control.
Hardpoint as well?
Yeah, they play Hardpoint, S&D, and they just started playing Control. I think this
Oh
year.
my
Wait,
god!
you know what's
Because we
funny?
have our
Yeah.
rules.
So the COD mobile stage, like there's a bathroom behind it, and I had to go there because it's the closest one, and I went inside, and everyone was giving me love in the bathroom. Like, hey, so
Really? That's fire.
I'm like, what's going on, guys? They're like, dude, we're mobile pros. I'm like, oh, well, I'm a COD pro.
That's fire. It's cool that they're here. You guys can like
No,
talk
can-
to each
yeah,
other.
it's cool.
Yeah, no, we'll
All right, let's get to
obviously
the
let's
questions.
get into some fucking
I got
questions.
3 questions. So
Perfect.
the first one is to Chris. I don't know who's this from because they didn't write their name on it. Smash, Marry, Kill.
Oh, shit.
Aches, ZooMaa, Ben.
Oh,
That's
no.
just-
Oh,
Don't
no.
answer
Chris already knows.
What
Chris
is
already
this
knows.
question, bro?
Oh,
Jesus
fucking
You
nice.
gotta answer the question, Chris.
Nah, bro. Nah, bro.
Nah,
I'm
I
not
feel like
answering
that's
this
fucked.
question.
He's gonna kill one of us.
Yeah, that's it's a tough decision.
In
You gotta-
COD.
Nah,
of
bro.
course,
I
in
gotta
COD.
listen, bro. I'll smash Pat because he's feisty, bro. I like
No
that.
way.
Oh.
See, this is the type of shit I'm
That
talking
is a
about.
turn that I did not
Anyways,
expect.
Yo, next question.
What the?
Alright.
That's all you're gonna answer? Just the fuck?
So
What the hell?
So who are you married?
yo,
Who are you
Tom,
married?
Tom,
Make
Tom,
sure-
make
I gotta
sure
marry
I'm
Tom,
on
man.
your couch, bro.
No
This
way,
is
Ben.
a-
This is
Oh,
shit,
Ben.
Ben.
Listen, bro.
Yeah.
Tom put me
Alright,
on,
fuck
bro.
that
Tom
question.
put me on,
Okay,
bro.
question.
Yo, Ben
Nah,
Trump's the question.
yo.
Fuck
Tom,
these
Tom,
questions.
Tom is wifey, bro.
Yo,
Yo,
Tom,
can you chill out?
right?
Damn, bro. Go to the next question, bro.
All right.
Damn, son.
So we got
That's good entertainment. That's good entertainment.
We got another unnamed
Yeah,
question.
100%.
This
100%.
is a good one to the group. What are you guys' thoughts on the CCL? Have you guys watched any CCL the last couple of years?
No.
Watch any College COD League?
CCL? I've been tuning
you
into
watch
College
CCL.
COD,
What are
yeah.
your thoughts on CCL, Tom?
I love College COD. I
like
was just talking to Meathead. He was right
Meathead
here.
was
Remember
here today.
Meathead from College COD?
Yeah,
No.
he was here
Oh,
today.
you don't know him?
No.
Oh, he's like a big gimmick in my stream, bro. Cause like
Oh,
I was
okay.
like Meathead going crazy, and he was here. Like
Wait.
Meathead was literally here, bro.
That's so cool.
Yeah, no, I
I-
like
I-
College COD.
I like that
I
the
think
program.
collegiate.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, I think collegiate esports is cool, but it is a little interesting to me because I believe Silly is a college Halo player and a college COD player
Wow.
and a Challengers COD coach.
Wow.
So
He's
it
doing it
seems a
all.
little.
Doing it
That's
all.
a
it
triple
seems-
threat. That guy's a fucking triple threat, bro.
Bro,
yeah, it seems a little crazy.
I
you can
honestly
do all
like that the program exists, and I could see in the future it might be like way more refined because I think something people don't understand is the problem with challengers is there's lack of support because a lot of people like there's just not a lot of like teams investing in it, sponsors, all that stuff. Like it's just prize pools, and a lot of people are literally playing all day, every day. They don't have time to get a job and stuff like that. So they lack support. What is the college Call of Duty stuff offer? It offers that kind of support. It's got scholarships and stuff like that. It gives these players, an opportunity to go to school while still pursuing, Call of Duty as a profession or like a hobby. So I think it kind of almost like solves the issue,
Yeah.
right? Of like not having support and being able to play Call of Duty on a competitive level. So I could almost see in the future, I don't know how far in the future, that a point where challengers and college Call of Duty almost like collide, where like a lot of these up and coming players that are younger can still go to school while still pursuing a career in Call of Duty.
That's
So-
if people are not degenerates and actually go to school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm just
Which
saying,
is like,
it
they
could
should
be
go
a
to
thing.
school.
It could
you
be
know?
a thing.
Yeah, but I definitely think there's a lot of players and challengers who probably could be going to college COD and could be doing that
Yeah,
shit.
but
and they just
the
don't
reason
do it,
why
you
some
know?
of those people obviously don't go to school or like even have jobs is because of the schedule. Like, bro, some of these people are literally playing like the scrims start like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
East, which
Yeah.
is like so ass backwards for people that don't have that kind of financial support because they can't even get jobs. They have to do
Yeah.
stuff like DoorDash
Yeah.
or like Uber Eats is like the only thing because they can make their own hours. I don't know, weird thing, but
All
Go
right,
ahead, Ben.
last question. I actually swapped out because I think this is a better question. So we've now seen 2 days of LAN play. The M4 obviously got G8 2 weeks ago. Do we think that was the right decision? Yes or no?
Yes,
Go one by one.
100%.
bro, yeah, what?
1 bajillion%.
1
It
billion,
depends on who you
gazillion,
ask. It
trillion.
depends on who you
well,
ask.
almost
Austin
fucking
Breach
a
is
billion
absolutely saying no, it was not a good decision, but I think from a watching perspective, I think it's been a big plus.
The only thing I don't like about the current meta is the inconsistency with the Scar. Because I mean, dude, you played against it. You sometimes just get one bulleted, no bullshit by that gun because of the
That
multiplier.
clip
The
That's
headshot
right.
multiplier.
Yeah, and the only thing about the M4 meta was the M4 didn't have a multiplier. So I'm glad the SMGs can compete. Don't get me wrong. It's more so for AR to AR gunfights where like sometimes you'll jump around a corner and like obviously COD's not that game where you can just like perfectly center all the time. Like you just shoot the first thing you see. And like sometimes you're just gonna get a 3-bullet kill.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're gonna hit the guy 4 to 5 times and he's not gonna die, and you're gonna lose it even though you felt like you hit him the same amount of times. That's the only thing that sucks about this meta. And hopefully we might actually have a solution with the patch that came out recently. Have you guys know anything about the patch that just came out, like the balance changes?
Nah, I haven't even
So
heard
the
about this.
Cast-Off 545, the worst AR in the game before, got a buff where it now has a 3-bullet kill just like the Scar, but it shoots slightly faster. It recoils more, so it's not as like beamy as the Scar, and it just handles better.
Could be like an in-between
So it
gun.
could be an in between, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about, where
A
it still
flex
has the potential of a Scar, but it's probably a little bit better in terms of the handling. So maybe we see a 3-gun meta if pros aren't stubborn, or maybe the Cast-Off just replaces the Scar because. I mean, right now, I think the Scar is in a good spot, but I think the Vaznev is absurd compared to the Scar. The Scar's still good, don't get me wrong, but I think the Vaznev right now is dominating.
Well, I
So
think it's balanced.
we'll see. I don't know. I haven't tested the gun. Don't quote me
Wait,
on
the
this.
Vaznev ain't
It's just-
dominating.
Bro, the Vaznev is absurd. There are some players going off with AR, but I've seen Vaznev
I think
pop
it's
off today.
it's pretty even right now. I like that we have a good balance. I like that we have a sub that literally shotguns you up close, and you have an AR.
Yeah,
that
I mean, I
fucking
think
trains you at range.
the
you know what I'm
balance is good,
saying?
but I think the Vaznes's have been absurd.
I
on
think
land.
both guns are absurd, and
I
that's a
think
good
both
thing.
guns are, yeah. I
You
think
know,
both
and
guns are
it's
equal.
better than having an M4 in there that is
No,
a do-it-all.
dude,
You
I
know,
promise
where
you,
it's-
if we
I
had
mean, I
M4,
agree with
it'd
you
be
on
4 M4s every map.
I
for
mean,
fun
I,
reasons.
Yeah.
I agree with you, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing that. I just think who knows what this gun brings. We might see 3-gun meta. Shit, we might see the Cast-Off just take over. But
Yep.
I think it's probably a viable weapon.
Yeah, well, guys, that's probably going to do it for us today. Pat, you're going to be here tomorrow, right? You coming tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow I roll up.
That's
tomorrow
what I'm
night.
talking
Nice, let's
about.
go,
And
Pat.
ladies and gentlemen, we got Patrick Price who's going to be joining us on the couch here for the flanks, man. So that should be a good time. But, guys, hey, that's going to do it for today. We had like a 9-10 hour watch party. We had a pretty good show. I hope you guys enjoyed all the content today. We're just getting started. It's day one. It's Thursday. It's been an honor to be here, bro. Like, I want to give a huge shout out to Esports Engine. I want to give a huge shout out to the COD League. Huge shout out to Faze Clan for helping us with all this stuff, man. Bepsi. Bepsi's going to be coming with us everywhere we go. He's a little sick today, so Bepsi ended up staying home, but you'll see him throughout the weekend. But Bepsi hooked all this shit up, so I just want to give a huge shout out to him. Anybody else? Am I missing anybody? We
Yeah,
would do
Tom, you hit 16,000 subs. Shout out to the team.
Yeah, we hit
Ah.
16,000 subscribers, man. Give yourselves a round of applause. You guys came in fucking crazy today. I mean, seriously, guys, if this goes well this weekend, which obviously it is as of right now, it's been fucking incredible. I mean, we're expected to be at every major this year. So obviously we want to go to Boston. We want to go to New York. We want to go to How You Doing, Bada Bing. Forget about it. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what the fuck happens with that shit. But we really appreciate all the love and support, man. It's been absolutely incredible. And like I said, I've been live for 10 hours. We've all been here for all day. And the energy in the chat just keeps it fucking pushing, man. Keeps it going. So just thank you guys all so much for all the support. Shout out to everybody again. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Anchors.fm/theflank to check out all the audio sites that we're on. And go to @theflank on Twitter. Gert's doing a phenomenal job running socials. As always, guys, take care. Brush your hair. We don't got a pot. We don't got a potter. Ben, you got to get a potter tonight.
Damn.
You got to go to the store and get a potter.
We have a putter. We gotta get a putting mat.
Okay, we need a
Okay.
putting mat. So maybe we'll figure that out, during the weekend. But it's been a long day, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Make sure to go follow @theflank on Twitter. And as always, take care. Brush your hair. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Take it easy.
Peace, guys.